to lose. Break down the door when I'm coming through, and they don't control the way that I move. I do what I choose, give me the play and I'm running it. Shout out the fans who bumping it. They know I'm the man, I've been in demand. I made a few M's, I'm loving it. And I made a beat, you know that it's knocking. Keeping receipts whenever they talking. They be asleep whenever I clock in. Look at my bank account and I just start really rocking. Yeah, I'm still in my prime, living real life while they living online. When I wake up, I do what I want. Work for myself, I don't need cosigns. No days off, I stick to the grind. Still got too many thoughts in my mind. Been fed up, but I'm all good now. It's a new year, but it's still my time. Ayy, standing on business, looking for more and I'm pushing the limit. My foot on the gas, won't stop to refill it. And I want it all, won't stop till I get it. I'm coming for everything, nobody blocking me. Water my grass, I'm growing a money tree. I hear them talking, but they all be mumbling. Looking around, don't see nobody, they all be under me, yeah. The ones who be doing the least, always be talking the most. 2016, I was fearing defeat. Now I be living my life on the throne. Know that I make it look easy, but I still had to go weather the storm. Now that I'm back and I'm ready for anything, it's gonna be my year, I'ma let it be known. Yeah. No, I don't want you. Know that I need you. Making assumptions. I don't want fame, I just want love. I don't want fame, I just want trust. Why they all tryna knock me down? They should all know I'ma stay up. Everybody wanna play me, everybody wanna change me. Nobody ever gon' faze me. No fake accounts like KD. Doing the shit that I want to. Nobody I'll ever run to. Every time that I come through, take shots but I'm gun proof. Know that I'm shooting right back. Killing them when I be dropping the track. Killing them and they be bringing it back. Killing them so I be wearing all black. Always been ready, this ain't a game, no confetti. I got my aim and I'm steady. I got the tunes like Ed, Ed and Eddie. I pull up and I let it go. No reply but I read it though. Let my music just tell it though. All my shit been selling so I know you heard it. I tell the truth, no rewording. I'm telling facts, I'm assertive. It's building up like a burden. I got the weight on my shoulders. I'm gonna battle like soldiers. I'm always keeping composure. Nobody stopping my motor. And I'm gonna go and get everything I really wanted. I don't care about money, but keep it 100. Invest in myself when the money was running. Cause I just knew everyone really would love it. I don't want fame, I just want love. I don't want fame, I just want trust. Why they all tryna knock me down? They should all know I'ma stay up. And I wonder what it feels like when dreams are real life. When they gon' realize I don't care about fame, don't care about chains, don't care about lames. I want them to know my name, only so they can hear all of my flames. Said I'm insane, but now they just see me on top. I'm getting everything I wanted, but the grind never gon' stop. Cause I could lose it all tomorrow. I don't care about the follows, I could drown in all my sorrow. I just wanna hit the lotto, make a milli for my fam. But I'ma do it how I want it, hope the music gon' expand. And my album like the Chronic, I'm a real doctor, no fake shit. Gonna change my name when I make it, just to let them know that it's possible. Making music in an honor roll, staying in school is a good thing. There's so many ways you could win. That work ethic is built in, and I've been a boss like a kingpin. Wake up and I pray up, praying that I'll never fall down. But praying ain't the only thing, your dedication makes it all count. Stick with it from the get-go, you never wanna just let go. Cause anything is possible, if you don't try then you'll never know. I don't want fame, I just want love. I don't want fame, I just want trust. Why they all tryna knock me down? They should all know I'ma stay up. And I wonder what it feels like when dreams are real life. When they gon' realize Yeah. Whoa. Ayy, I've been minding my business, I ain't worried about critics. They tryna tell me what to do, it's funny they never did it. The only time I leave my crib is to pay the bank a visit. And I be telling them by my nose, knows I run this shit. Ayy, I'ma do what they can't do. I'ma go where they can't go. Kill the beat with an attitude and I take them down like Django. Dressed up in that camo. When I come, they don't see me. Beat the game like 2 times, but I came back for a 3-peat. Ballin' like I'm MJ or LeBron James, I'm Hall of Fame. I've been a god like Charlemagne and I'm wearing gold like Notre Dame. They feeling cold, but I lit the flame. They think I'm close, but I'm out of range. They in my league, but not on my level. Comparing me, but we not the same. I'm too driven. First class, I move different. Big bags make 2 million. Ain't living how you living. Big crib with a balcony, see the whole city with a new vision. 2023, I'ma be coming back here on a new mission. Come on. I've been minding my business, I ain't worried about critics. They tryna tell me what to do, it's funny they never did it. The only time I leave my crib is to pay the bank a visit. And I be telling them by my nose, I run this shit. Ayy, I'ma do what they can't do. I'ma go where they can't go. Kill the beat with an attitude and I take them down like Django. Dressed up in that camo. When I come, they don't see me. Beat the game like 2 times, but I came back for a 3-peat. They talking about goats, I'm fitting the mold. I'm running the game, not selling my soul. I'm shooting my shot and then I reload. I'm never gonna break, I'm never gonna fold. I took a trip to Dubai just to go buy me some gold. I fell asleep while I'm in the sky, then I get back to work when I get home. Nobody better than me, I be delivering regularly like I'm Uber Eats. I put in the work in the studio, then I got my shorty in the bed waiting for me. Lately I'm living a life, I don't need to post it online. I used to dream of these days, only a matter of time. I've always been ready to shine, ayy. I've been minding my business, I ain't worried about critics. They tryna tell me what to do, it's funny they never did it. The only time I leave my crib is to pay the bank a visit. And I be telling them by my nose, I run this shit. Ayy, I'ma do what they can't do. I'ma go where they can't go. Kill the beat with an attitude and I take them down like Django. Dressed up in that camo. When I come, they don't see me. Beat the game like 2 times, but I came back for a 3-peat. Yeah, looking for me, but I've been on the road. See what I do when they already know. Following dreams and I can't let them go. Back to the grind and I'm back in my zone. Ready for battle, I'm ready for war. I got it all, but I wanted more. Nobody taking what I got in store. This what I'm doing it for. Remember they doubted me. I had to bring the best out of me. I put the pen to the paper, that's all that I need. And I've been a boss, I'm paying my salary. We had to stay at the DoubleTree. Now we be living in luxury. Keeping my circle small, I don't need opinions from nobody under me. Feeling like they all tryna hold me down. Know that it's my time, I'm coming for that crown. Ready for the battle, I won't ever back out. Let them know that I want all the glory now. Feeling like they all tryna hold me down. Know that it's my time, I'm coming for that crown. Ready for the battle, I won't ever back out. Let them know that I want all the glory now. I'm making it happen the way that I want. Know who I am and I don't need a front. Becoming the man that I said that I was. Love it or hate it, I don't give up. Put in the effort, I get the results. I'm trying to cop a new color and truck. I'm about to run it up until I'm richer than Elon Musk. I need a Billy like Eilish, they need to get a new stylist. I'm not a pilot, but I know I still be the flyest. I got a touch like the Midas, don't even try it. Coming for me and you playing with fire. All of that capping, we know you a liar. I'm not surprised, I'm on the road to the riches, your time expired. Feeling like they all tryna hold me down. Know that it's my time, I'm coming for that crown. Ready for the battle, I won't ever back out. Let them know that I want all the glory now. Feeling like they all tryna hold me down. Know that it's my time, I'm coming for that crown. Ready for the battle, I won't ever back out. Let them know that I want all the glory now. Yeah, let me take you back to when I was starting out on the come up. I was grinding till the sun up. My neighbors told me to shut up, but they couldn't see the bigger vision. Got no intuition, now my taxes more than that tuition. They see how I'm living and my idols becoming my competition today. I remember I was making under minimum wage. It was part of the story, but now trying to slow me down like I got a speeding ticket. I got demons I keep hitting in the back of my head. I'm not vegan, I keep feeding off the shit that they said. I've been living out my dreams while they stuck in their bed. I've been thinking like a king till the day that I'm dead. I remember when they never would've listened to me, and now I'm everything that they ever been wishing to be. I've been working overtime like every day of the week. I've been studying in school, already got a degree. Trying to make it to a doctor, I've been working on my patience. I'm trying to make a living with multiple occupations. Coming out of the basement on the radio stations. I'm going face to face with all of my contemplations. I feel like God's gift and this is my celebration. I'm trying to lead the way for all the future generations. I don't want them calling on my phone. I've been on my way to the top, no ceiling. They leaving a message at the tone.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I remembered this time, Jason, to switch it over into the dual view almost immediately. I've got to change the timer for that one. How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you.
Awesome, man. Another week is almost down. It's crazy.
Oh, God.
Somewhere between, Monday and Friday, there's a start to the week and there's an end of the week, and I'm just not sure which is up and down anymore. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Happy Thursday. I promise you, and I promise Chad, we will eventually get back onto a normal schedule as soon as maybe some of my travel dies down a little bit.
I don't know, man. You're taking like private jets all over the place and getting like, the paparazzi's all over you. Like, I just wish that I had that sometimes,
You must have seen the TikToks of me walking down the streets of New York this week, and I'm like, there goes Neal again. There goes Neal again.
It's crazy.
It's always exciting, obviously, to hang out with you, Jason. I'm gonna hit the rules really quick for our newcomers. If we got anybody new in chat, thank you so very much for tuning in today. This is our Tuesday threat breakdown that's happening on Thursday afternoon because I had to go to New York this week and miss Tuesday. Jason, I had every intention of doing it Tuesday night from the hotel. But as my moderator team will tell you, the last time we tried to do a stream from a hotel, it did not end well.
It did, yeah. It didn't begin well, didn't end well, none of it, right?
We had the best of intentions, and it was not a good look. It was an Old Guy Wednesday. We had Jeff on. He very much was doing the robot during the stream, and so we have shunned off doing hotel streams because of it. But we'll eventually figure it out. If you're new to us, thank you so much for tuning in today. This is our Tuesday threat brief. Who usually happens on Tuesday. We're doing it on Thursday. Jason, CEO of BitLift, myself, we come on here. Jason gives you all what is really happening in the world of cyber from the front lines. What his analysts are seeing on a day-to-day basis. We'll get to that here in a little bit. I've got some awesome stuff that Jason has put together that I want to share with everybody, Jason, because I know you're super excited about this too. I know I was super excited when you shared it with me. Real quick on the rules. It's actually really only like 2 rules, I think. So first rule, right, pretty easy. No racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic behavior in chat. We have a 0 tolerance for that in chat, 100%. Basically no toxicity in chat whatsoever. We do have moderators in chat. Make sure you do give a huge shout out, round of a bunch of W's and all the cool emojis and everything else to our moderator team across all the platforms that we are streaming today for their support. Most of them are working, today, and they're sneaking in some extra time to come hang out with us on the stream and moderate on chat. So we really do appreciate our moderators' dedicated time to come hang out with us. They are not here, however, to stifle chat whatsoever. As a matter of fact, moderators are here to make sure that your voices get heard. Up one side and down the other. So with that being said, please feel free to commune, fellowship with your fellow cybersecurity professionals across Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Justin over on LinkedIn, speaking of which, says, is this live now? Yes, 100%. It is live right now. I can reach out and touch you, Justin. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi,
Jason. If you make a mistake, it's live.
It's live. We have made mistakes before. That is for sure. With that being said, obviously one of the huge perks of this being live is that you get to talk to Jason and I directly as we give you information. So we highly encourage questions at any point in time, especially as we give you the latest threat brief and what is happening out there in the world today. If you got questions about what Jason or I talk about, please feel free to drop them in chat at any point in time. Our moderators will grab them and push them up on stream just like that, and they'll appear on the bottom, and Jason and I'll look at it and be like, oh my God, the audience is talking to us.
Thank you for talking to us. I mean, it's going to be amazing, and we like talking with you. We like it when it's interactive, and we don't want to be just talking amongst the two of us the whole entire time.
I mean, we could. I don't mind talking to you, Jason. I mean, I didn't realize that you hated talking to me that bad, but now that we know.
No. Yeah. Now that
we've aired that out a little bit.
Yeah. Now this is live.
Now, this is what we talk about when it's live.
Yeah.
Now, Jason, thank you. I'm going to pre-thank you. Chat, you guys are going to love what Jason and the BitLift team have done. Jason, do you want to talk about it first, or do you want me to talk about it first? Because, like, I can't contain myself, but it's your present to give to the community.
Yeah. Why don't you kind of kick it off a little bit, and then I'll, I'll fill in the blanks.
All right. So first and foremost, chat, listen up. As promised, the BitLift team has stood up their GitHub page with all of the past threat briefs and all of the IOCs. So we have 2 new bot commands in chat. Now, everybody's going to rush to hit these bot commands, but I promise you there's a timeout on them. So the first one is !threat, and the second one is !IOCs. Those take you to 2 different spots to the BitLift IOCs page, where you can get both the threat briefs after they've been presented here on the stream, as well as the IOCs for the current stream and all the past streams as well. So, Jason, thank you so much, and thank Noah, because I know Noah put in a ton of work to this as well. Thank you guys so much for publishing this stuff on the internet and making this stuff available. Now that I've unveiled your present, what do you have to say?
Yeah, so we just really want to we love the community, the cybersecurity community, and we want to make sure that we're getting the information, PDFs and documents and things like that to the community. So this is one of the ways to do it, and this is one of the ways that we can make sure that you guys get access to what we're talking about and can see for yourselves, put your eyes on the documents that we're discussing, and these will continue to come out. So. Like a little bit about what we're going to get ready to talk about today. Some fun stuff. Actually,
on that note, before we get too far into this, great question from CyberTies, right? What's your recommendation on how we can best use this gift on any level? What do you think some of the ways, like when you look at the two GitHub pages, at whatever level, how do you best utilize this?
Well, for one, I think that people can, either share it with, their cybersecurity friends, peers, the IOCs and the recommendations and the documents that we're putting out there, we're wanting to make sure get used and people secure their environments. So that's at least, from my side.
I love it. I mean, listen, I think one of the things that gets lost in these threat briefs that we see, just my 2 cents on this, right, is that a lot of the threat briefs that get shared are regurgitated news, right? Like I think you can go to, all sorts of news publications, and there's tons of really good ones out there, Bleeping Computer, blah, 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 and you can get access to typical news stuff. But I don't know if I've shared this with you, Jason. I think I've shared it with the community a couple times. I've been on TV a lot. I've been asked to do a lot of the threat rundown stuff on TV, and one of the things I get super disenfranchised about when I do these types of interviews is that they're all clickbaity. They just want me to talk about the most clickbaity thing whenever you appear on them, and they aren't real, right?
And and then there's ads, entwined in them, and then people are afraid to click the links. People are
Yep.
afraid to, interact with the material because they're not exactly sure where it came from, what's the source.
Yeah.
And that was like the biggest thing that we wanted to make sure is that we know the cybersecurity community does not want, like, we're not sharing QR codes, and we're not sharing, Bitly links and things like that are like super suspicious. But you're 100% right. I mean, like, people want to be able to know, like, hey, if I go to this GitHub and I've seen and listened and watched, Neal and Jason talk about this, and the information that's coming out is real legit information. It's not clickbaity, and the information that we're going to share with you guys the last couple of streams, and that we're going to share with you today is legit cybersecurity issues.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's one of the biggest things is, like, I completely agree on that. Over the last couple of years, if you looked at the space, there's a lot of people that are out there talking about cybersecurity topics, but with a 90-95%, sales marketing bent or twist. And then, so you don't know what's happening with your information. You don't know what's happening with, like what the source information is. So I'm super concerned about that for people that are literally trying to learn and to secure their environment and get a legit, completely trustworthy, transparent source.
Absolutely. I think that's the key there, right, chat? Right. As you listen to Jason and I talk, Jason's team is on the front line every day, and they're trying to share with you what people are seeing on the front line today. And to CyberTie's comment, you can take this information, you can go implement it in your SOC today, and that is exactly what we're trying to achieve with this. So Jason,
100%.
Thank you and Noah so much for this. Thank you for the BitLift team. With that being said, the last present, obviously, Jason, I've committed you to 3 more Try Hack Me vouchers that are live now, hanging out in the giveaway channel on Discord. So make sure you hit that ! Discord, go to the giveaways channel over there and get in on that. We're going to end that one tomorrow, so make sure you get on that one today. That one's only going to be live for about 24 hours. So Jason, with that, what do you got for us today, buddy, before we sit here and BS the entire time? What do you got for us today?
I got a lot of good info. I did. So another shout out to Tim Ledger. Tim has been helping put a lot of other documentation together too, as well as Noah. So, shout out there. Thank you, Tim, for all that you're doing and all the hard work.
Hell yeah.
A lot of times we don't thank the people that are on the front lines of cybersecurity. There is no punch in, punch out. And I'm preaching to the choir on that one, because all of you guys in the audience and listening right now, you know that cybersecurity is not a punch in, punch out job. So, which is why we're bringing up this topic that we are today. So to jump into it a little bit, we're going to let the cat out of the bag here. We are going to be talking about SMB signing. So this is a good one. Lots of people actually thought that this issue was sort of gone.
I was going to say, like, you see the skepticism on my face here.
Yeah. So a lot of people thought that, I would go to like Microsoft Cloud, and the Microsoft Cloud would potentially get rid of a lot of these issues that we were seeing back on prem.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. So, sorry to burst your bubble, but the problem just moved from on-prem to the cloud.
Okay, so real quick, can I give a history lesson for SMB for chat really quick on this? Yeah. So chat, as we talk about SMB or server message block, right? Like, this is, I don't want to call it an old protocol, but it's definitely one of like the core principled protocols that Windows systems use for communication, right? You got RPC, which is 135 and 139, then you got SMB, which is on 445 from a port perspective. And so these protocols are used across Windows systems, predominantly on-prem Windows systems, or at least I thought until Jason shared this with me, right? To basically communicate, intercommunication between Windows hosts. And typically the way that we would exploit this from a red team perspective is, we could intercept these SMB levels of communication to get the hashes that they would use to sign, inter-server communication, and then we could crack those hashes, and then this would allow us to break into systems. But yeah, Jason, I thought that like largely with the move to Azure and Azure, Cloud and Azure AD, they would have deprecated SMB. Are you saying that that's not the case?
That's 100% not the case. So, SMB has versions. You're going to hear us talk a lot about this, so we're going to probably mention this several times in today's conversation. But SMB1 should be disabled, like going forward, which is sort of a hoop to jump through. But the reality is that in this day and age, with the technology and what's going on between signing and digital signature, the certificates, you need to disable SMB1. SMB2 is where everybody needs to be going and configuring and setting up. And SMB2 is 100%, as well as SMB1, is both in play in Azure AD, Azure file shares, the OUs that are set up. So this is why we want to talk about this, is because we have seen this. And
I was going to say, like we're talking about it. Does this mean that you have seen active attacks using this?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
This is good stuff. I mean, this is how some of our favorite malware and attacks have been carried out. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear, like legacy SMB version 1 really should be disabled in your environment.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to how, and we're going to get to checking it, and we're going to give a document at the end of this.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, we're going to give you a document that shows you like how to disable this and how to check for it in your environment. But one thing I want to make sure that you guys should be thinking about is there's SMB 2 and 3 that is available, that should be configured, that is the more modern approach to this, and actually solves the current challenge. Won't say the forever challenge, because there's never a forever challenge in cybersecurity. Right?
Imagine that
resolution.
Imagine that upgrading to the latest version of something solves all the problems with the legacy versions of it.
Until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow. So let's talk about the attacks you've seen. Can you talk to us about like some of the recent attacks that you've seen leveraging kind of this SMB vulnerability? Yeah.
So two of the most prevalent that are used is NTLM relay attacks, and the second one is a man in the middle.
Okay.
Essentially, where there is a listening. Think about if you're running some sort of listening sniffer on the network. You're doing that to hear and understand what the traffic is on the network. So are criminals. And I'm sure all of you guys that are listening are smart and super skilled, so you know what man in the middle is. But essentially, you are getting the credentials passed across the network. There, with SMB1, there is challenges, and that's why you can actually get the credentials unencrypted, unauthenticated, and then essentially you can then get into server to server, server to workstation, workstation to workstation, and now you can move around. And you can move around with creds that you got by listening in on the network. So man in the middle is pretty common, and we've actually seen this go down. I want to mention here that everybody that knows Eternal Blue, so Eternal Blue actually used this methodology, and if you go out and you do, like you're saying, well, Eternal Blue, that years
I was gonna say that's 2017 if I recall correctly, because it was shortly after I got out, and my friends at NSA, the Shadow Brokers leagues, kind of just exposed a lot of the Eternal Blue stuff.
Yeah, but that methodology is still being used as of early 2025.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so that is, again, it's another reason why we're bringing this up and we're so passionate about it is because we're still seeing these things being used. And so we're here on a live stream trying to shout from the rooftops like, hey, go fix this.
Yeah.
and share with your friends, share with your peers in the space, like this is actually still taking place.
Well, and if I recall correctly, if Eternal Blue is predominantly across Windows 10 machines and things like that, you can't upgrade those machines to SMB version 3. You have to keep them on SMB version 1 or version 2, and that makes it that probably sits and lies in dormant and wait for a lot of enterprise networks. If keep me honest on that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why we try and focus the attention of our customers on like, wow, we've got to get these OSs either out of the environment or we've got to get them upgraded. There's got to be a path to move forward here because we're stuck with a major problem on the network.
Yeah. Eternal Blue, baby. Eternal Blue. Just for those who also are looking for a name to associate that, WannaCry, not Petya. 2017, I think, was when that happened. I was in the throes of dealing with that. That's what else are you seeing recently that's using that as well?
Yeah, so ransomware propagation. You just mentioned Emotet, throw TrickBot in there. I don't think you mentioned that, but what I want to mention here is that ransomware propagation, it leverages that unsigned SMB traffic to move laterally across the network, encrypt files on multiple systems and things like that. So if you're thinking, well, gosh, like how can this SMB V1, V2 problem happen and affect me? It's really cool how it works. Criminals have used this though to spread malware across the network. That's propagation. And once they have this, I mean, the infection can roll fast. So we have actually seen malware spread fast, had this issue, had the SMB 1 and 2 in place. So that's why we want systems upgraded. And we want you guys to know that SMB 2 and 3 really need to be upgraded to 3 if you possibly can, right? So
we've got man-in-the-middle type of attacks. You got NTLM relay type of attacks. You've mentioned Eternal Blue as being an exploit that's out there. We heard you say Emotet and TrickBot that's out there. So this is very real, and this is very much a TTP that attackers are leveraging today.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the crux of this, though, let me come back to a little bit of the crux of the issue here is that so attackers can intercept SMB traffic. It's either unsalted, unencrypted traffic, and they can essentially get the authentication requests and then gain access to the system. So by doing that, now they've got access to the system. They've got the real creds, and it was all based on what they've seen transmitting across the network. Not real difficult.
Yeah.
And again, like if you're familiar with a network packet sniffer, maybe you use one for fun, maybe you've got one installed inside your company's network, and you're looking for this, it's extremely important to make sure that you're not susceptible to this type of attack.
Well,
or if you are,
real quick on that though, because like for my pen testers or the folks who want to see this in action, like this is a very real like home lab setup that you can set up as well. Like you can have 2 Windows 10 boxes on the same network, and as Jason mentioned, you can have like a Kali box, a third Kali box there with like Wireshark or something like that set up on there. But the Eternal Blue exploit is available in Metasploit. And so you can test this and see what this looks like, whether you're an attacker or a defender. And I highly encourage both of them to do this. But with 3 boxes in a lab environment, you could easily see what this entire attack looks like with SMB. So I'd have a Kali box with Wireshark. I'd use Responder and have 2 Windows 10 boxes communicating with each other. And you should be able to see this.
Oh yeah, 100%. You'll be able to re-replicate the issue, and you'll be like, "Wow, that's really cool."
Yeah.
And then that's why I say, the comment is like, we solve these problems until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because Because let me tell you, I don't think Microsoft, released this with the idea that this was going to be the case.
Well, but I mean, I think you could say that with we could get on a tirade where I don't think Microsoft was really forward thinking when they released a lot of their legacy, homegrown, whatever original
Microsoft's
protocols.
not forward thinking.
Oh my god, dude! If I don't know, did I ever tell you about the EBC that I went to where Microsoft stood there in front of me and said, "Oh, we absolutely are 10 years behind security. We watch what everybody else does, and then we buy best of breed and then bring ourselves current." I was just like, did you just admit to me that you're 10 years behind everybody else on security?
Oh yeah. But so Neal, just one thing before you move on. You mentioned this. So many organizations, they go and get a pen test, and I would highly encourage that, right?
Yeah.
But this shows up on almost every pen test that we have seen. So if you really want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth on a pen test, go fix this in your environment first.
Yes.
Right. This way here. I love the balloons. It's birthday, but just go get that fixed. And this way here, you'll get your money's worth out of your next pen test.
10 of 10 agrees with Jason. Like, Jason, you're 100% spot on. What Jason's about to show you in terms of fixing this. Jason's got the gestures turned on the camera. Just saw it. What Jason's about to show you in terms of fixing this thing, you absolutely should do this before a pen test, because the last thing you want is to get charged for somebody to tell you how easy this was to exploit.
Yeah. Yep. So a couple things. I got a couple of items that I want to go over. The SMB signing, the reason why it's so important to secure this, protects data integrity and authenticity, right? That server messaging block protocol needs to be digitally signed and verified that it hasn't been tampered with the confirming sender's identity. So if you just think about that, when it is properly configured, the sender is confirmed and the SMB traffic is digitally signed. And this way here, you can reduce the likelihood that it's unauthenticated, unencrypted traffic, things like that, right? If you're looking at preventing unauthorized access, it mitigates your credential theft risk. So we use the word risk there, but you're mitigating that credential theft risk. You're safeguarding the Microsoft 365 and the cloud integrations. So you think about this, things that are still connecting and communicating with Microsoft Azure AD and those cloud integrations, that's a plural word there, cloud integrations. Yeah. This is susceptible to it. So, and then reducing that attack surface in the legacy system. So we sort of touched on that, Windows 10, things like that. The legacy systems have that problem. Obviously, your compliance and reputation is potentially on the line if you're a organization or your organization has to deal with any sort of compliancy, PCI DSS, GDPR, HIPAA. You want to make sure that you're complying with this, because if you haven't had a pen test yet, then when you do go get your next pen test, this will come up. You're either going to pass it with flying colors or you're going to fail it.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Yep. PCI DSS, man. Ugh. Yeah. I heard that they love it. I heard that they released a new one and it got even stricter now. So, GG's on that.
Yeah. I mean, you basically can't come to work now.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, I mean, I guess that's a great way to protect credit card data.
Yeah.
Divergence. So before Jason gets into the how to check and how to prevent, he's going to talk through some PowerShell code. Chat, don't worry about writing it down or anything like that. We're going to make a link to this report available so you'll have access to it. So this is a great opportunity just to listen and take all this in. We'll make one of the things that the team has done is they put this together in a writing so that you can have access to it. So I didn't want anybody to frantically be trying to write what you're saying down, Jason, at the same time you're saying it. So how do we check for this?
Yeah, so there's a couple of PowerShell commands that we're going to give you, like Neal said. And essentially, you want to check to see if this is enabled, if it's properly configured. And so there's a couple ways to do that. I'm certainly not going to read out the PowerShell commands. Yeah. But what I would say is there are a couple of ways to check that if SMB signing is configured or not configured correctly. You want to do this as a starting point just to see where you're at. Once you check your environment, then you'll know how to proceed. The first thing that we always tell people to do is assess the environment. So that's assessing your cloud. That's assessing what you have on-prem. You're going to be assessing the OUs, the organizational units inside of Active Directory. And when you do that, then you can determine how you're going to enforce the SMB signing and which OUs you want to place it or enforce it. Sorry. What we have seen is people, this is some misconfiguration that I'm sharing with you, is we've seen people enforce it on 1 or 2 OUs only. And that is a misconfiguration. You want to apply the SMB signing to all of the OUs.
Is that because of inter-domain trust relationships that exist?
Oftentimes. And or policies that are set at that OU level, right?
So when we talk OUs, real quick, chat, as we talk OUs, talking about organization units, these are usually at the Active Directory level. They kind of help define, organization 1, organization 2, and things like that. So almost every, Jason, what'd you say? Every organization has at least 1 OU, but most big organizations have multiple OUs.
Oh, yeah. And we've even seen it where organizational units break out servers, workstations, areas, departments. Just depends on who set it up and how well they set it up. And it can also be like maybe separate entities. If you're an organization that has multiple entities, maybe you've got OUs breaking out the different entities. There's different policies that are in place, things like that.
So it's important to make sure that you're checking these at all the OU levels, and if you apply the controls, apply them at all the OU levels. Yeah,
100%. Because there is no inherency. So one OU is not going to inherit the SMB signing of another OU.
And you can't trickle it down from a forest OU down to the tree OUs if we use some of the legacy AD.
Correct. Yeah, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
So
there's a little Active Directory deep dive for those who've spent some time in Active Directory right there.
But so you'll want to. I will talk about this though. Assessing the environment, you will want to get an inventory of devices and versions. So there's actually a Git.
Hold on, Jason. Are you telling me that before anybody can do this, they got to have a CMDB, or is there an easier way to? Is that what you're about to tell us? Is an easier way to do this?
Well, you should. If you don't,
there you go, folks, right there.
If you don't have a CMDB, then you're doing it wrong. Let me just say that.
That is a true statement. That is a true statement.
Yeah.
Rip to all the CMDBs. Pour one out for my homies.
Yeah. But there is a get command, SMB connection, and then some commands that will allow you to pull back through PowerShell your inventory devices and versions. And obviously you're going to need to know, hey, these apply to these OU as far as your inventory of devices. And then you're going to want to make sure that the devices are in the proper OUs. That's the other thing here. So, yeah.
All right. So we've got assessing your environment. I think that to me sounds like the easy part.
It's the easy part.
What's the next part? Because I feel like you're setting us up for the harder part of this adventure.
So the next part is going to be getting into identifying your cloud integrations. And you're going to want to find out what are all of the cloud integrations that you have. What are the Microsoft services that are using them? Are they properly configured with the SMB protocol and the version level? Are they properly configured?
You should be able to go to just one spot on your Microsoft, O365 environment to determine this, right?
No. I wish that was the case. Again, if Microsoft had their stuff together in this realm, there'd be like one location to check this for everything.
Right.
Yeah, there's not. So is when you get your eyes on this document that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, yeah, you'll kind of see, oh, I got to go a couple places here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, so then you identify your cloud integrations. You do a little bit of risk assessment against, hey, I still have these legacy devices. These are in SMB1. I can't get them any higher. What is still unsigned, right, in SMB2? You identify what are prime targets for NTLM relay attacks. And then what's my unsecured outbound connections and cloud services look like? Do I have exposure there? The answer could be yes. The answer could be no, but more than likely it's probably yes. So just think about that for a minute. And then, your major step 2 is going to be planning your SMB signing strategy. You're going to want to set out and say, how am I going to fix this? Because it's going to need a little bit of a maintenance window. It's going to need some time when, traffic isn't really high because services may go offline for a moment while they reconnect and things like that. But
let me start off, because like the first thing that you talked about, right, was like identifying one of the things you talked about was identifying your legacy devices that are on SMB 1.0. And so my CISO mind, Jason, immediately goes to, well, what do I do if I've got those devices on my network that, I've got a production computer that is running Windows, NT, and it produces $10 million a day. Folks on chat have heard me tell this story 100 times, to Sunday, and I can't upgrade it to SMB version 3. Like, if I know that's my part of my risk assessment, like that's going to be my first strategic question to you, Jason, is what do I do with a system like that?
I would quit your job.
Shit.
No. So go somewhere else where they don't have this. No, just kidding. This is going to require a strategy around how do you sort of quarantine this in the environment? How do you separate this? And really, maybe you set up a completely in-house domain for this thing to work on. That's segmented VLAN. That's segmented off. That you can control it, and that it is separated from the rest of your production environment network. If it is revenue generating, then I would find every way to keep it alive, because you want the business to still operate. And security individuals, we can't be people that just close the door all the time, but we have to look for ways to still cause the company to generate revenue and operate. But I surely would be devising a plan of getting that baby, whatever it is, off on its own island, and let it still operate, and let it operate in its own cocoon. But that would be my plan of attack. I don't know about you, Neal.
Outside, having had faced that, yes, very much so. That was like, what is this thing? I can't quit my job. It was a resume generating event, but yes, getting that thing isolated. Because I do think I'll always err on the side, Jason, whenever we have these conversations about like, hey, I know I'm going to encounter a risky situation where I can't, get this thing off my network. And so my first question to you as CISO is always going to be, I can't do that. What's the next best thing? And so I'm glad to hear you say isolation. I agree with your isolation comment. What else you got for me now that we've got that situated? What are some of the other strategy goals that we should be setting for ourselves as we look to do this?
What we really do is we look for those trade-offs. Have a roundtable exercise discussion around what's the risk exposure of this machine, work with the software vendor, and potentially figure out ways of getting around this, or when is the upgrade path.
You had these conversations with your clients today, right? Like, I'm sure that you recently had this conversation because of what you guys uncovered, right?
100%. And that's it. It's like one of the things that we want to do is get to SMB2 and SMB3, get it properly configured, get the encryption where possible, make sure that there's a baseline signing across the environment.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're bringing up, sometimes you do have legacy systems, and you have to work around those very carefully and try and bring them into security scope as best as you possibly can.
I imagine you still deal with a lot of like hospitals or schools or things like that, where, you know, they're telling you that that the vendor can't even upgrade them, right?
Cesspools. Did you say cesspools?
I may have accidentally said cesspools, but that sounds like when I may have said university and you may have heard cesspool. That may have been like something we use interchangeable.
Yes. So you do have that. I mean, let's be honest. There's absolutely equipment that is out in the wild, and that you can't get upgraded. And so you absolutely have to work around it. And then the vendor would probably come back and say it's going to be 6 months or to a year before the software, hardware can be updated. And so now for the next 6 months to a year, you have a known vulnerability on your network that you have to work around that. So what we typically do is we set up ACLs, access control lists. We set up basically VLANs, and we make sure that the only thing that can talk to that thing is the thing that is supposed to talk to that thing.
VLANs really quick, like let's just make sure we're level setting with folks who may or may not necessarily understand VLANs, a networking term, virtual local area networks. Imagine if you created a virtual machine on a computer. Imagine the same type of thing on a switch, where you're creating basically a virtual network network port. God, words are hard today.
Yeah. It's Thursday. Friday's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. It's been a week.
Yeah. And I'd add to that is you can tag the traffic.
Yes.
So, you know, the other cool part about VLANing and segmenting and isolating your network is if you're tagging your traffic, and it has that tag, just for example, if you're tagging at VLAN 1, well, VLAN 1 typically can't talk to VLAN 2 unless you have a misconfiguration in your network setup. But only the devices on VLAN 1 can talk to VLAN 1. And so, you know, that's just a little short networking 101.
Yeah. Please don't use VLANing as a cheap way to get out of buying a switch. Set up your freaking VLAN routing so that you actually have inter VLAN routing set correctly, please.
Yeah, please. So coming back to this, a couple of thoughts. You know, as you're discovering, assessing, and starting to build a plan and a strategy. One thing I would say is since cloud and Azure is so popular these days, most of our clients, we see this used, but Azure Files requires SMB 3.0 plus, so 3.0 as a minimum or higher version, and supports encryption. So the signing alone isn't sufficient for cloud shares. And you'll plan for encryption where applicable. So just a note there as you're kind of looking at this and you start to use cloud and Azure Files, this is going to be a minimum requirement.
Yeah. So. It should not only be a minimum requirement, it should be a standard. A standard.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And I know I'm repeating myself here, but so on step 3 of this guide that we're going to be sharing with you is disabling SMB 1.0.
Just in case, chat, you don't get the hint, disable SMB 1.0.
Disable SMB 1.0. I think we've said it like 3 or 4 times now. So
that's the common theme.
If you can. Yes. It is bad. So,
please, if you're going to do something today, if you want to absolutely destroy your network and piss everybody off but secure it in the most efficient way possible, go disable SMB version 1 today.
Yeah. Or you could also do it tomorrow at like 4:30 p.m. and then leave the office right away. Just kidding.
But you should disable SMB version 1 at any cost.
Yeah.
Like you should definitely do it.
Yes.
So
we're going to give you some commands to check and see if SMB 1 is enabled. Again, if it's enabled, disable it. And then start working on actually configuring SMB 2 and SMB 3 in the environment to get progressively better.
And Jason's going to have all these commands and all these steps laid out in a document. I've got a chat command that I'll drop here in a second, so that everybody can get access to this document. But let's talk about testing, because obviously, Jason, whatever you do from a hardening perspective, we need to be able to test and monitor it. What are some ways that folks can go about testing and monitoring whether they've got this thing configured correctly?
So there's this really cool PowerShell command that says GP update /4.
For those who are new to Microsoft environments, welcome to GP update.
GP update.
Group policy update for those who are waiting for us to talk about the acronym.
Yep. So, and let me tell you, do not assume that group policy is just going to update, and then you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I went and checked, and GP update is set to auto update on its interval. Please do not rely on that. Just force the update. And then what you can do is rerun your test. So once you have run GP update /force, and then you can then run your test on the machines again. And then you should be able to verify. So test and verify that your connectivity to file shares, prints, all of the SMB connectivity is either 2 or 3 at that point, which you have configured, and it should be secure, and you should be in much better shape.
Do you always breathe a sigh of relief like that when you run GP update?
Oh, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. All right. So
GP update used to give me nerves.
Dude. Like there were so for story time a little bit, maybe a really tiny story. There were people who got their MCSE, an MCSA back in the day, who made entire multiple 6-figure salaries doing nothing but understanding group policies inside and out.
Oh yeah. And the reason why I would get anxiety about running GP update is because if you applied things before, and then they may or may not have taken effect, and then you went on to configure more things, and then they may or may not have taken into effect, and then you run GP update, and then you're like, holy cow, something majorly just broke. That was the problem.
Yeah.
That is real. Now it's gotten better, but still, when you run the command.
All right, so for chat really quick, as you listen to us talk about this, Jason, this is lots of really good information. The exclamation point SMB in chat gets you to the page where you can get the download for the SMB signing procedure. And this thing is massive. Like, I'm looking at this chat. This thing is God, you guys put in 7 pages, it looks like. 8 pages
12.
into this? 12 pages. Sorry, I can't count. I can't read the numbers on the screen. It's 12 pages to this SMB signing document that you guys put together, and it'll eventually show up on the other GitHub links as well, right, Jason?
Yep. We'll get it up there ASAP. Give us 12 to 24 hours, but it'll be up there on GitHub.
Nice. There's another question from Chad. Netfresh says, Jason, last stream we talked about the PDF you were going to give out. This is actually up on the GitHubs today as well. The ones that you dropped.
It is. Yeah. So thank you for asking. Now we are going to basically every time we live stream, after our live stream is done, you'll be able to go and hit our GitHub repo. In our GitHub repo, we'll have today's live stream information. The PDF.
And so make sure you follow the Bitlift GitHub repo. Make sure you got the notifications turned on that. That way, whenever they get the push out, you'll have access to the latest indicators and guides on how to protect your environment. Yeah. Jason, I can't believe that you're seeing this. I can't believe you're seeing this.
It is something. So not only are we seeing this inside clients, we're seeing malware propagation, we're seeing NTLM attacks. Like I mentioned earlier, almost every one of the pen tests that we had seen on customers over the last several years have come back with this finding.
Yeah.
And so this is like, we need to go fix this. This is something that not everybody is aware of. And that's why we're here talking about it today. is because we want to make sure that people are aware of this and they're actually spending time fixing this. This is not like the flashing red light, this is something that's smaller. It's a configuration, and you need to go do this, and you need to be aware of this.
And Callie's got a fantastic point here, right? But how am I supposed to use Responder if I tell everyone to harden SMB? For my red teamers out there, I lived and died by Responder several times. I can tell you that on the offensive hacking side, Jason's 100% right. Like going into networks, this would be one of my go-to strategies is to run Responder and man in the middle a lot of the hashes and then start cracking the hashes. I was surprised, Jason, when you shared this with me, and maybe this shows my old age and how long I've been out of the hacking game, but I didn't realize this also applied to cloud environments. I didn't realize this applied to Azure AD and Azure File Shares.
Yeah. In this document, we were given our final thoughts, and, the SMB signing is still very much applicable here in hybrid situations. I mean, and when I talk about hybrid doesn't mean that you still have stuff in the cloud and stuff on-prem. Hybrid today is this applicable terminology that where you're using Microsoft Azure and maybe other clouds, and you don't necessarily have to be like quote unquote on-prem anymore. But you are 100% still using SMB signing in Microsoft Azure.
Are you using SMB signing with inner Microsoft related services too? So like if you're in Azure Cloud and you've got like a couple of VMs set up in Azure Cloud, are you using SMB signing even in the cloud level too?
Well, to my knowledge, that it's 3.0 that's still applied or higher, because it's still the Windows OS that's communicating. Inside of that network. And it's 100% still inside of Azure AD, and it's inside of the Microsoft Azure file share. So it has to be. Now, whether you're sniffing the Microsoft Azure network or not, sort of to be remains seen on whether you can sniff that traffic and produce, this vulnerability.
Some measurable result from it.
Yeah, some measurable result from it. Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason, I cannot wait to see what you guys put together over the next couple of weeks. This was intense.
It's always it's always, what are we going to see tomorrow, next week? And then we'll create the content for the live stream.
Callie asked a question, Jason. I don't know if you want to opine upon this. He says, is NTLM relay still a thing in Azure? Outside of the vulnerabilities associated with SMB 1.0 versus SMB 3, because I think I heard you say that SMB 3.0 is enforced in inner Azure communications. Assuming that's the case, is it feasible to have an NTLM relay attack inside of an Azure cloud ecosystem?
That's a good question. To my knowledge, I have not seen it personally, or our team has not seen it inside of Azure as far as an NTLM relay issue, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I think that's always where we have to just be careful. I would proceed with caution and assume that it's possible, just because, we're in cybersecurity. You have to assume almost anything is possible. But I have not seen it 100% for sure. So it's still a looming question out there for the person that asked it.
Nice. I think that's fair. I think, I think if I were to add on top of that, right, I think, Microsoft is built on a lot of protocols that have been around for well over 30 years, right?
Yeah.
We mentioned SMB, but RPC is a huge one, 135, 139, right? RDP has been around for a while. Lots of Windows systems have been around for a while. I think that Jason, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I think it's safe to say that there are probably some dormant Windows protocols and some dormant Windows systems that have not been thoroughly tested, especially against today's standards, that are probably at some point in time a future issue that we could address.
Yeah. You think about, just the level of information that we're constantly finding out. And we're like, gosh, I didn't even think about that from a year or 2 or 3 or 5 years ago. And, somebody somewhere has found, the workaround on it, the exploit side of it, and then is using it. So I would always keep your eyes and ears open for those types of things.
Absolutely. All right, Jason, I think that wraps for today. Everybody, don't forget, Fix It. I appreciate your thought. We're about to stop streaming, but I appreciate the thought so very much about go find somebody else. Take the cyber insecurity energy and go find somebody else to raid, but I appreciate the thought. Fix It. Appreciate you coming on this week as well as sharing what you guys are seeing over there at the BitLift team. Chat, don't forget, exclamation point IOCs, exclamation point threat, and exclamation point SMB are commands in chat for you to get the latest threat brief from the BitLift team. Jason, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow morning, Tea with a Hacker. I think somebody called it hot. I'm not even going to try to say that on stream.
hot hacker with a T.
Hot hacker with a T or something like that. Somebody made a hot to a girl reference with T with a hacker. There it is. Cybertize dropped into Cybertize couldn't help himself. For those who are listening, there is a giveaway active right now in Discord. Hit that exclamation point Discord and hit that giveaway. It will end tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time, so you got a little over 24 hours to get in on that giveaway. 3 more Try Hack Me vouchers. Jason, thank you and the BitLift team as always for those.
Yeah, you're welcome. We love supporting the community.
We know, we could tell by the GitHub page, by the threat reports, by the free training. Love it.
Hopefully you guys aren't getting tired of like our 12-page documents, but at least when we give you a 12-page document, it's like full of golden nuggets and really good information.
Listen, I'm sure, Jason, if the community really, really hated it, they know where to find you on LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We do have an announcement tomorrow, chat. You do want to make sure you tune in for Tea with a Hacker. I teased this last week, Jason. You're gonna love this, Jason. Like, I think you'd love this one, Jason. You like some forensic stuff, don't you? A little bit.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. This is where the nitty gritty stuff happens. Like forensics is like roll up your sleeves, get a cup of tea, and let's dig in. I love forensics.
Love forensic stuff. So we're gonna have a little forensic surprise tomorrow on Tea with a Hacker. You're not gonna want to miss it. Jason, I think that's it for my community announcements. You want to sign us off for the day?
Yeah. Listen, thanks for joining us today. We're gonna be back in 2 weeks with some more awesome stuff to share. And appreciate you guys and your time and willingness to listen to our information. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and week. And we'll talk to you again very soon.
I'll see y'all in the morning. Cheers.
Take care.
Fine with me. I got what you want, you what I need.